every time I put this helmet on, it just makes me feel like a badass. You know, super dark windscreen, nobody can see you, no one knows who you are. You're just looking at them, they can't see you. It's pretty fun. See if Lynn sees me. No, he's gonna back right out in front of me. That was great. Okay guys, welcome back to Ace Cafe Bikes. You're enjoying these winter sessions. At least I am. It's a great opportunity to get out and ride. Kind of taking this to the limit here. Sneaking out at lunch. Why not? Perks of working at home. I love it. Love it, love it. Today's ride's going to be another, I guess, opinionated discussion. I'm pretty an easygoing guy, but I had quite the dinger a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago for me now. Obviously, I think you get the point here that it is not winter. Or sorry, it is not fall anymore. It is winter. And back in September, October-ish, I kind of had a run of buying up motorcycles. I really did enjoy that. I think that's going to be something I'm going to be more prepared for going into next end of the season. And maybe I'll start it back a little bit closer to when the season's still going on. Not so much in September, but maybe at the end of August we'll start that off. Surprisingly found quite a few hidden gems, we'll say, that turned out to be really profitable. And when I say profitable, I don't mean like you're not gonna be able to quit your job tomorrow. But I didn't lose any money, so that was always good. Yeah, so finding these bikes that are either forgotten about, left behind, bought this season, rode it this season, now I don't want to store it. You know, who knows the story, but the story always seems to have a similar ending. They don't want it anymore. So most of the time it's some sort of fuel related problem. If it's been sitting around a while, it just doesn't start. And they just throw in the towel. Like, oh, I don't know what it is, it just won't run anymore. And a lot of times then they cut them loose for little to nothing. And I did, as I started doing this, became a little more aggressive with my purchasing power, I guess. I don't know, it's not my purchasing power. I guess just my suggestion or my offerings, there we go, my offerings for what I would pay. I wasn't so worried anymore, I guess, about insulting the guy or girl who's just trying to side it. Because I did work with one girl that was selling her bike, and all the expectation is if you give them sour notes in their mouth with price that you're willing to pay, it either is going to open their eyes up to what his bike's actually worth, or they're going to say no. And as the consumer, which I would be at that point, you just have to be willing to accept no and be able to walk away from it. So I guess the moral of the story is if there's something that you're really wanting then you better go after it. If there's something that you could live without, but you would really think, yeah, I can make some money on that, well then go for it. Why not be aggressive? If they're wanting 1,000, offer 500. That's kind of the game I've been playing. Offer them half of what they're asking for. And surprisingly, it works about 75% of the time. 3 out of the 4 bikes I bought in September, October, that's exactly what I did. Offer them half. Sometimes less than half. One bike, the guy wanted 1,000, I offered him 250, and he said, all right, done. It's just the need for them to be able to clear the space, especially if it has no connection to them. You know, if it's, you know, they haven't had it very long, or if it doesn't mean anything to them, it's just junk basically to them at that point. So I guess it was an eye-opening situation for me. I've always been on the side of being gentle, you know. Always under the assumption that at some point they did some research and or some thinking about how much they needed for that bike or whatever they're selling, a car, you know, lawnmower, vacuum cleaner, whatever they're selling. At some point they gave some thought into what they thought their item was worth and what they needed to get out of it to be able to let it go. And with that thinking, I was always putting their needs in front of mine. With you know, I was always used to just do 10%. So if it was $1,000, I'd offer 900, $100 off. You know, thinking, yeah, and then if they say no, well then no, then the most common reaction is, oh, how about maybe in the middle at 950? Well, yeah, okay. So my assumption up until this last little run was, you know, be prepared to pay what they want. If you get it for a little bit less, it's worth your while. I never took the time to consider my needs because I normally wasn't buying to resell something. I was buying something that I wanted, and if it was in good, workable condition, no matter what it was, it's cheaper than buying something new. And why let something go to waste if there's someone else that could use it, right? So, more harvesting. This is awesome. That guy's cool. Right, so that was a huge introduction to kind of what happened. So, here's the story, and this is extremely aggravating me. I did let it settle for a little while. I mean, I was blown up. I was so mad when this first happened because I'd never have had this happen to me before, but now that I've kind of vocalized the story to a couple of people, I guess this happens more often than not, but it's so sucky. So Facebook's kind of been my, Facebook Marketplace has been my like avenue for locating a lot of these deals. I think, you know, Craigslist did this a long time ago, but you got to be kind of half serious to sell something now on Craigslist if it's a motor vehicle. If it's a car and or like, no, motorcycles, they charge you $5 to list it. At least they do in our area. Maybe that's different in other places. But Facebook is still free, so you can put crap up, you know, even if you don't really mean it, you know, set some feelers out there. Nonetheless, the GS850 is our first baby, you know, the first one out of the gate. And it's the only one that we really ride consistently because it's the one I consider done. And it's probably the only one I probably won't let go. But I found a guy who's selling an 82 GS850 that didn't run, needed tires, needed battery, needed this, needed that. I mean, a whole long list of stuff that he knew it needed. So I thought to myself, you know, I'm not by any means a stud at mechanical work, but I've done the GS850 a bit, and I can probably work my way around that one. It might be worthwhile to take on another challenge, because this bike is great. It's so smooth, it's crisp, it's loud, it's fun. Why not have another one? Maybe do some of the things that I'm not necessarily afraid to do, but things I just don't want to do to this bike, to that one. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go for it. The guy wanted $400 for a non-running titled bike. That was key, that it did have a title. then a long list of things it needed, right? Like, it was really specific in the ad. It needs tires, it needs brakes, it needs fork seals, it doesn't run, it doesn't have a battery, bring a trailer, you know, this whole routine. Yeah, got it, buddy. It was posted for 6 or 7 hours, so I'm on it pretty quick. But I also have noticed that as well. With Facebook, it goes fast. I mean, way faster than Craigslist. If there's something on there worthwhile to be sniffed out, people find it ridiculously quick. So we have a little correspondence going. I open up the chat, send him a note. He's not super quick at getting back to me, but he does. This all started around, I don't know, 1 o'clock or so on a Friday. By 3 o'clock, we've already had our conversation settled and we're all done with our knowing what's going on. So the story kind of goes like this, you know. I offer him what he's asking. He accepts my offer. He offers to even deliver if I'm in the area, which at this point he doesn't realize that I was a couple hours away. So that kind of goes down the drain. Well, this just happened to be homecoming weekend for our high school, and we had some stuff going on that Friday night. I couldn't make it over to him. I mean, it's a couple hours away. So he says, no problem. I said, but if I needed to, I could go over there on Friday. Well, he's like, no, that's all right. And I said, well, how about Saturday? Well, then he was busy doing something on Saturday. I'm like, how about Sunday? And we're like, yeah, perfect. And so I could be there at 8 o'clock. He's like, no, how about 4 o'clock? I'm like, yeah, no problem. Well, this worked out great for me because I was kind of giving up the entire weekend to try to settle this pickup, and I really needed to cut our woods down. You know, the woods needed to be, the weeds in the woods grow up all year, and then we knock them down in the fall so it's nice and pretty. Like, perfect, I'll go get the weed mower and do that. So I'm doing that on Sunday. I come in for lunch at noon, and I text I didn't text him. That's the key component here. The guy was super vague about putting any of his extra personal information on. He didn't want to give me his phone number. He didn't want to text me his address through the chat messenger of Facebook. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Here's my number. Text me the address. He's like, sure, I'll text you on Sunday. Okay, so it's noon. I text him. I say, hey, we're going to leave in a couple hours. Just let me know what the address is and we'll be there, just to confirm how far away it was. You know, I don't like being late for anything, so I didn't want to be late. And so nothing. You know, I go back outside for a little bit, come back in, 1 o'clock, I'm hopping in the shower, text him, chat him, hey dude, we're getting ready here to go about an hour, still nothing. You know, this goes on like 4 or 5 more messages to him as the time of 2 o'clock for me, it gets closer. So 2 o'clock we get in the truck, Chase and I go, we're gonna run up there to go pick this up. We're about 10 and 15 minutes down the road and we get a chat from him saying, hey, the bike is sold. And I chat him back, I said, yeah, you sold it to me on Friday. And he goes, no, I marked it sold so you would see that I sold it. And I'm like, what do you mean you marked it sold? I mean, yeah, I do see that the ad is sold, but you sold it to me on Friday. We picked up arrangement, agreed on a price. And he's like, sorry, dude, that's just how the deal goes. The guy came to pick it up before you could get here. And I'm thinking, how in the world did I open myself up to not being able to pick this bike up? Other than the fact that I suggested once that it wouldn't necessarily work for me on Friday because of homecoming, but I would make it work if I had to. You're the one that could do it on Saturday. You're the one that picked it to be 4 o'clock on Sunday. But it's my fault that I messed this up. Yeah, okay. I see how this is going. Well, I kindly replied back to him, and I do mean kindly. I was going to be old Captain Keyboard and let him have it, but I didn't. I just politely said, hey, dude, that's not how the deal would go if I made it. And it wouldn't. You know, and I understand completely. If you get a lot of people interested in the item that you have, and someone may come up to you and say, yep, I want this. And in my case, I was paying exactly what he wanted. It wasn't like I said, hey, you know, I'll give you $100 for something you want $400 for, and then he got a better offer, so he, you know, he screwed me. I don't see how that was pertinent in this issue, in this scenario. But I do see where that can be relevant. But even if you did, if you made an agreement with a guy for way less than what you wanted, and then another guy comes along and says, hey, I'll give you more than that guy, that's not the game. The game is, okay, if I fail to come at the time that we agreed on to pick up the item that we agreed on the price on, okay, now it's up for grabs. Call someone else, call the next in line. It's just an absolute joke, and it really got me torqued. But nonetheless, we're over that, and lesson learned. No one, at least in this day and age, your word means jack. Maybe if you're over 40 like I am, that's not the case, but who knows. Anyway, leave in the comments below if you've ever had anything like this happen to you. As you can tell, it's I'm a little bit miffed about it still, but we'll get over it. That's about it for me, guys. I'm wrapping this up. I'm going to pull into the old quick trip, fill up on some gas, and head back home for something to eat. Alright guys, well, this is Mike with Ace Cafe Bikes, and you guys have a great rest of your week. Enjoy. Hopefully you're enjoying these winter sessions as much as I am. And I'm glad I thought about this before the snow came. So if you do, please consider subscribing. That would be great. Hit a like, give me a comment, and we will talk to you guys next week. Have a good one. We gone.